What's going on, Flix Talkers? Welcome back to another movie review. This time for Respect, the biopic on Miss Aretha Franklin. It is in theaters now, and it has a runtime of 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it is rated PG-13. Now, before I do get into my non-spoiler review for this film, please make sure you guys are hitting the big thumbs up to like the video. It's the best way to support the channel, and it does spread these videos out to those that aren't subscribed. And if you yourself aren't subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe and bell notification down below to always get alerted about future videos like this. Now, Respect is directed by Lysol Tommy, who also directed episodes of Jessica Jones and The Walking Dead. And this film does follow the rising of Aretha Franklin's career from a child singing in her father's church choir to her international superstardom. Respect is a remarkable true story of the music icon's journey to find her voice. And I do want to preface this review by saying that this was a film that I did pre-order tickets to weeks ago because I wanted to just take out the mothers in my life. So that's my own mother as well as my girlfriend's mother. Kind of a Sunday afternoon treat, just a midday watch, because this time period does focus on the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they were born in that era and they lived through it. And if I'm being completely honest, this was a movie I was probably not going to watch solo. I was probably just going to catch it on streamer just later down the line whenever it was available. Getting my butt in a theater seat is hard to do for a biopic, especially if it's someone that I have no clue about. So the reason why I'm prefacing all of this, guys, is I had no expectations of what I was getting myself into because I don't know anything about Aretha Franklin. So before I get into the initial story for the Respect film, let's get into some of this cast, starting off with co-star Forest Whitaker as C.L. Franklin, who does play the father of Miss Aretha Franklin. Wow. Now, I have grown up on Mr. Forest Whitaker for so many decades now, and this man does not disappoint. Every single movie I've seen him in or TV show, he puts on a performance. And in this one, he keeps those acting chops up, and he does play someone who is a very stern Baptist pastor who knows that his children are gifted. Aretha, more notably, he has her in the forefront. Even though she is the younger of her sisters, she always gets put in the forefront because he sees the potential that she has. But he likes to kind of keep her enclosed, cased in this like little box, so to speak, and he only wants her to kind of represent him and God and sing only for the church. And we get a lot of emotional and dynamic interaction between these two. Even later in life, they're constantly butting heads. They have huge emotional obstacles to overcome, and we get to see a lot of that in this movie. Now, surprisingly, next up we have Mr. Marlon Wayans, another person that I did grow up on, more in the comedic aspect of all of the Wayans brothers, from In Living Color to the Scary Movie films and all the solo projects they did in between, more notably the aptly named The Wayans Brother TV show. I will forever love that show. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon. But seeing him in this more dramatic role as Ted White, once again, he does play a husband to Aretha Franklin, and he is an abusive, toxic character. Almost from the get-go, you can kind of see that he's very much a womanizer. He's very much a controlling person, and these guys love to drink. And you guys know that when you have anger issues and alcohol involved, it never goes right. And now the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme, the queen of soul herself, Jennifer Hudson, playing Aretha Franklin. Wow. I will be honest, I don't even think I've seen Dreamgirls, so I really can't compare too much of her other resume other than the music when it comes to film of what I've seen this woman in. But good Lord, Jennifer Hudson has put on a performance of a lifetime. And I use that word very, very sparingly. So when it comes to this, you guys know I mean it. From such a young age of 10, 11, we get to see how much she's really engulfed in music. She comes from a middle-class family, very religious, very based on God, and that's deep in her roots, and it goes full circle. We get to see that from the beginning to the end of the film, how impactful that is to her music career. But along the way, it is about finding her individuality, because so much of it was being controlled by either her father or Ted White himself. And there are so many situations, especially with Ted White, that had me gripping my fist like, ooh, I wanted to just physically fight this man, because you see so much greatness in Aretha Franklin, played by Jennifer Hudson, that you really can't believe sometimes that she went through these situations. I had to kind of sit back and say, hey, This was based on her actual events, true life stuff. And I have to kind of separate my mind that it's not an actual movie, guys. It's not like a written script for the most part of fictional characters. This really happened to this woman. So I have to kind of see her life struggles to see how she ended out on the other side. But when you get to see that and she finally embraces her freedom, it is exceptional, guys. It was so empowering and such a gift to see her finally be free and do what she wants. She got to a plateau where she no longer needed to answer to anyone, and she fought her demons. And I really want to kind of go and watch some documentaries on YouTube or some official documentaries about her life to really see to what extent this movie was kind of laid out as far as based on a true story, because we do know, guys, based on a true story films sometimes can go sideways, and you'll have a lot of actors that these movies are based on, if they're still alive, kind of coming out and saying, hey, my life wasn't like that. You guys put your Hollywood spin on it. But going back to my preface, and this is why I said it, I had my mom to my left side and she kept nudging me and saying, hey, that guy did this, or that event really happened, or I remember seeing this. So it was cool to have someone next to me that lived that life and lived through all these experiences watching this with Miss Aretha Franklin, as well as they do mention the assassination of Martin Luther King and someone that actually played Martin Luther King in the film. And not only do you feel Miss Franklin's struggle in this film, guys, you feel the weight of the world as a whole in those times of segregation. And there's a lot of mentions of it, especially when they're deep in Alabama. Now, I know I kind of went off on a tangent and drifted from the cast members to the story itself, but I really want to get my free-flowing thoughts out of my head before I forget them, even though I know that this movie is unforgettable and I'm probably going to watch it again, because I shit you not, guys, this may be one of my favorite biopics of all time, not just the year, of all time. Now, the reason why I say that is because it had all of the building blocks to lead to a great story. Once again, I had kind of alluded to her going through a lot of turmoil, a lot of abuse, physical and mental. She had a lot of demons that she was chasing. They focused a lot on the substance abuse and some events that were affected because of it. You really saw her go from nothing to something and then fall from grace and then kind of build herself back up. You saw all of that in this span of about 2 hours and 25 minutes, guys. And I'll be 100% honest, I could have watched this woman's story for 7 hours. I kid you not. You guys may think I'm exaggerating. Her life was so fascinating. Watching her create hits along the way was so fascinating. I could be here all day watching the behind the scenes of Miss Aretha Franklin. Now, I know it's been said before, guys, but great music comes from horrific tragedy in people's life, and I wish it really never was there. But the fact that we got to see it all, especially from a young age, there was things that, wow, it really made me angry, but ultimately it added to the character of Aretha Franklin, going back to her faith roots. And I'm not a religious guy whatsoever, and I was not turned off by hearing all of this gospel music. It was beautiful. Beautiful, coming from the pipes of Miss Jennifer Hudson. That's what I appreciated, is that it was all her, by the way. I forgot to mention, this is all of her singing in the church, singing on stage, singing in the recording studio. It seemed very, very authentic. Not only the stories involved, all of the singing, all of the mannerisms, everything that it took, once again, the building blocks for her becoming someone that was very guarded and controlled to becoming her own powerful woman. And going back to the director, Liesl Tommy, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, she executed it. She nailed it. Someone that's had more TV credits, it seems like. She nailed this film, guys, and hats off to her, shit. So all in all, guys, I had a really fun and emotional time. I was tearing up so many times, guys, not only from the emotional weight of some of the tragedies she had to go through, and she went through a lot. This woman went through a lot, but just some of the songs that she was belting out made me tear up. And that's why I'm giving Respect a solid 5 out of 5, guys, saying I'm adding this to my collection. It's definitely one of my favorite films of 2021, and you guys need to see this in theaters as soon as possible. Alright guys, have you seen Respect? Do you plan on watching it in theaters? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you guys did appreciate my reaction and thoughts, let me know by liking the video. It's the best way to support the channel, and it does spread these videos out to those that aren't subscribed. And if you yourself aren't subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe and bell notification down below to always get alerted about future videos like this. And if you guys want to follow me on social media, I'll leave all those links down in the description below. Alright guys, till next one, I'm gone. Peace.